Hi, teacher, and hi, classmates. In this opportunity, my partner and me will talk about berthing and unberthing. The topic consists in two submissions. The first is mooring operations, and the second part is pilotage service. The context about the dialogue takes place at the Berth 2 in APM terminals where a port worker and his supervisor. Let's go.
Good morning, Miss. We are ready for the operations of today.
Good morning. So what do we have?
MSC Blue Sea have been mooring for an hour.
Okay. Is there any problem?
No, Miss, we haven't had any accident or problem yet.
Okay, I need to ask you some questions and know that you're fully prepared for this job.
Of course, Miss, I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay, tell me what mooring operations are all about.
Mooring operations is one of the important tasks that seafarers have to perform on ship's deck. Technically, the operation may seem simple, but there are several dangers associated with it. As a seafarer, you must have care about the traps on ships and how crew members have lost lives during mooring operations.
You talk about an important part of the mooring operations, the depth traps. Remember that the mooring operation is one of the most important tasks the seafarers perform on the deck of the ship. The death traps have several safety precautions must be operation and several safety precautions must be taken such as check all mooring operation, mooring equipment and PPA. Okay, do you remember about PPA? You mean so?
Of course, Miss. The minimum safety equipment to be provided by the staff providing the mooring and cook service is as follows: portable radio, mobile phone, overall, helmet, company, photo check, steel gloves, and others. For example, the helmet with the company logo like this.
Okay, we are on the right track. Now, do you know that should only need 2 maneuvers foreman or no?
No, Miss. The minimum personnel required for the provision of mooring and the cooking service in a single seat port terminal will be 1 maneuvering foreman and 2 topmen.
I understand. I knew you were attentive. Now, tell me a little about mooring procedures.
Okay, there are 2 procedures and each with different steps to take. One of them is for the provision of mooring and the cooking service of ships on the dock and the buoys.
Right. Tell me about on the buoys.
First, the vessel that supports service with the crew, constituting the mooring indicated by the administrator, establishing radio contact with the pilot and making available to him. After, the pilot in charge of the maneuver will be responsible for the vessel being positioned as follows: 1 prow and 1 stern, in order to bring the moorings to buoys or to take them out as appropriate, in the order it established. And finally, the maneuvering foreman shall inform the terminal head when the manifold of the vessel is in line with the trunk of the submarine line. The terminal chief will validate this information, informing the pilot that the ship is in position. The pilot will terminate the operation, complete the operation, and with the authorization of the pilot in charge of the maneuver must contact with the head of the terminal to report on the complete of this operation.
Wow. I see you're having a good result. The answers are clear for mooring operations. Now, what about the NVRT?
That had been using the pilot service for entry to the port.
Is the pilot ready? Are they authorized?
Yes, they are. He has waited at top of signs, 6 a.m.
Okay, to the finish the supervision. How is SS Ocean going?
We had noticed a problem in their bellboat.
What happened?
As you know, they have to record all depends of the direction, the speed, that most fair state, but we think that they didn't have some maneuvers.
Okay, we have to notify. Now, tell me about the pilotage service, please.
Yes, the pilot service consists of advising the captain of the ship in the maneuvering into or out of the terminal. Port, dock, maneuver, multiple or police authorized by the competent authority.
Great. Remember, about the main function is carry out maneuvers to change the dock position on.
Position, mooring band, embankment, entrance, and access of lakes.
Yeah, of course.
Talking about pilotage service, the basic pilotage port service is subject to the requirement of the captain of the ship or ship representative.
Okay, the blue book is very important in this part. All relevant events that have occurred will be recorded in this book. In particular, a note will be taken of the captain's performance when he acts in public functions.
Yes, in the boat in which two or more bridge officers are referenced, a book must be kept called the record book, in which the pilot on duty will record the nautical and meteorological events that occur during navigation.
That's right. Okay, that's all for this moment. See you in 30 minutes to the operations.
Okay, Miss. Thank you. I see you in 30 minutes.
Okay, bye.
Bye.